say the military is no place for African American male.
Why?
Because they give you orders to do the same things to other people that they did to you.
That's Muhammad Ali's argument.
It's really a scandalous thing that it's a whole bunch of black people in Iraq fucking people up on some orders of the same people that did that shit to you.
So really the question is, can a black man truly be proud to defend America when America has never really given two shakes of a fat rat's ass about him? I think that's the question.
It reminds me of the people who said Chad Ochocinco, he should have went to jail. If you beat somebody upside the head enough, they gonna be like, hey, you know what? I need to do what this motherfucker say. And every black man who I see in the airport with that military outfit on, it's like I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of what you've done. I mean, I don't know why you there. It's not for me to say why you there, but you can't stand up here with a United States military outfit on and say I'm doing the right thing.
So let me ask this. Is the military the new McDonald's for the black man? In other words, does it provide the best opportunity for employment and education? So maybe that's the new job source for black men. They're outside of every inner city high school recruiting them, right?
When I go to the Galleria Mall, I don't see U.S. Army recruiting stations. Too many Caucasian people over there for that. They don't play that. They kids don't do that. All that 27%, they kids don't fight for this country like that. But when you go to the poor part of town, it's full of let's get these motherfuckers and get them in this army, make them feel like this is the alternative to going to jail.
So if you're of a lower class, regardless of race, then the military might be your best option to take care of yourself and family?
Well, some people do that. A lot of people say, hey, I'm going to go join the army because I ain't had nothing else to do financially.
Wow. Didn't shit else work out? I tried to make a rap album. Might as well get in the army now.
Might well go shoot these motherfuckers for these people that slaughtered mine. I want to say this to anybody in the military. Sometimes when you're young, you do things without really knowing what you're doing.
Right.
I'm sure it's a lot of young soldiers out there like, what the fuck am I doing? I mean, I'm talking about young brothers who are out of the country somewhere getting ready to shoot up a whole village of motherfucking poor people from another country.
Wow.
I know they saying to themselves, I'm not saying all of them, because some people loco, and they just down for whatever. I get that. But I'm saying there's a lot of brothers, I'm sure, saying to themselves, wow, what the fuck am I doing out here shooting up these motherfucking people that ain't done a motherfucking thing to me?
Wow.
It's all propaganda. Because when you get out there, you see it. I know you got to see it. Man, these motherfuckers ain't fucking with us.
Wow.
These motherfuckers want us to leave them the fuck alone. Wow. They really want us to get the fuck out their country, but we jacking they shit.
Wow.
Well, let me give you an example of what you're saying in terms of my own experience. I had a cousin who survived Vietnam. I had one that got killed in Vietnam. And the one that survived, he was 6'5". And he was furious because the cutoff back then was 6'6". And when he went to the jungles of Vietnam, because of the instruction and the sense of patriotism and this is our duty and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he felt that way until they was out in the bushes one night and they had speakers and they were saying, soul brother, not your war. Soul brother, not your war. And he said the next day they had him out in front, the guide on. And he's the tallest one in the platoon, right? And the Vietnams had been so clever. See, people around the world know our history better than we do. And they asked, what are y'all doing over here, man? We done heard about Martin Luther King. Y'all ain't got no business over here. So my cousin was out front. And he said he heard a shot that started the firefight, right? And the guy standing next to him, little white boy, about 5'9", blew his head off. And then they playing the microphone. Soul brother, not your war. Soul brother, not your war. And as tall as he was, to start the fight, they'd have blew his head off. But they wanted to let the brothers know, y'all really ain't got no business over here.
They say that shit all the time. When they capture them, I heard.
Yeah.
They be like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing fighting us? What the fuck did we do to you for you to be so proud with your little Rambo get on? Out here like we did something to you.
Right.
Motherfucker, they did this shit to you. Do you know what? I think, this is what I really think. I think black people in America have really forgotten the slave trade and what really happened. I really think that I think that black people in America, I'm talking about the majority of black people in America, really think that they will be given equal rights eventually. And before you know it, you dead. And you pass that shit on to your kids. And your kids steady thinking the day is coming. The day is coming. And also, the same motherfuckers who told you the day is coming told you when you die, it's a place called paradise for your ass.
Wow. And if
it's the same motherfuckers with the goodest game ever.
Right.
And you motherfuckers, they wickedly brilliant.
There's a song that should be banned from all airwaves from this point forward, and it's the Negro, not the national anthem, but it's our slogan. The NAACP started that shit when I was a child, and we still waiting on someday. We shall overcome.
That's got to be the sucker record of the whole motherfucking. That's the sucker record of the world.
We ain't gonna never overcome.
Someday.
We ain't gonna never overcome until we overcome our weaknesses.
No, you got to turn someday into a date certain.
But you know what, Bobby? When you brought that song up, me with the consciousness I have now, because I haven't heard it in a while.
They still do it.
If a motherfucker sung that song, I wouldn't be singing that shit. I'd be like, what'd he say? You don't get that bullshit the fuck just like that Bobby McFerrin song. Don't worry. Boy, that song, I hated that motherfucking song. I was like, beat that nigga ass.
Hey, Corey, why don't you?
That nigga is violating with that motherfucking song. So I got a question for you. So this goes to anybody.
What y'all waiting on? That's what I want to know.
Anybody who wants to answer this question. When you watch sporting events, especially like the NBA finals, when it's like, what is it, Memorial Day or something like that, and they be like, yo, I just want to thank the troops. Y'all out there fighting for our freedom. If it weren't for y'all, we wouldn't be able to enjoy these freedoms we have. How do you feel when you hear people say that?
Annoyed. Simply because these are black guys who, but for their athletic ability, would be in situations where they would be subjected to the same kind of atrocities that you spoke of earlier, because that's how they treat us in Chirac. They don't do between Chirac and Iraq, okay? And so the fighting that goes on in the inner cities around the country, they take some of the kids who have better records now, because it used to be you could go to the military if you had a heartbeat. But then they start downsizing and saying, no, you got to be at least a high school graduate with some aptitude. But you still going to go over and die. All right, that's still the bottom line. But they're more selective now.
Yeah, they hunting the smarter niggas.
Yeah.
They was like, keep the dumb niggas on the street. We'll get them eventually with the squad car.
If you get a propaganda to the proper goose, because they attract you with, we're looking for a few good men. Look in the mirror. Is that you? Yes, that's me. I'm signing up. Okay. They really was perplexed.
Wait. So it was niggas fighting in chains?
Well, they still had them on their ankles, you know.
Niggas was fighting. That is some funny shit, though, when you really think about it.
Well, you mean slaves fighting chained up?
Get up off my master! He gave us some soup made out of horse hoofs. Some horse hoof soup. You gonna try him?
And some of the brothers that had escaped the plantation, they blended into the Indian population, and that's why you see a lot of people look like me with Indian ancestry.
I got Indian in my family.
Yeah,
you hear that a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the rest of them was thinking that, you know, like Stephen, man, if I kill enough of these Indians, you know, I'm gonna get a bigger piece of that fat back, you know. And so they were ferocious soldiers, and the Indians used to call them buffalo soldiers because they were ferocious, but they were perplexed by the fact that these brothers, with them chains rattling, was coming over and messing with them.
They was lost niggas, right?
Yeah.
They was some lost. They was the first gangbanger.
Right.
What the fuck?
How vicious of a soldier you gotta be to be asked to kill somebody while you chained up?
You fight for whoever feeding you or whoever you fucking.
Yeah.
God damn.
That is fucking insane.
That conditioning is very powerful because there was certain segment of the black population that bought the notion that if we do enough for these white folks, eventually they would treat us like they treat each other.
The Barack Obama
that's
approach.
the bougie niggas today.
That's
That's
still
the Barack
prevalent.
Obama approach.
And as you go through the progression of wars, the same thing happened. And they had the race riots in 1919 after the brothers had came back from World War I, and they thought that life was going to be better because that's why they went to fight in World War I against the Germans.
That's why they went to vote for Barack Obama. Go ahead.
And they came
thought
back,
life was gonna be better.
and many of them were hung in their uniforms, and they were POWs.
And this is what might make some people mad. But my opinion is, if you are fighting for somebody who never gave you respect at all, what do you expect? People show you who they are. When people show you who the fuck they are, if you ignore it, that's on you. Something wrong with you if you keep on trying to get acceptance from somebody who have basically told you ain't worth the bubble gum on the bottom of my shoe that I stepped in some shit in.
But isn't that the sickness in the affluent black community? It really manifests what Einstein said about doing the same shit over and over again and hoping for a different result.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, how crazy is it to then turn that around and say, I'm going to fight so hard that I'm going to gain your acceptance?
I know that.
Fuck that.
I know that.
What?
If you really want to know what that's called, and I really want everybody to listen to me when I tell you this, that's pimping, baby.
Wow.
That's motherfucking pimping right there.
Wow.